yourself for the most turbulent, power-packed motorsport in the world. Never before in drivers and machines jump into action. Brace yourself as this week's caravan of trucks and tractors assault your senses on Challenge of Power.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the nationwide Kendall 16th Annual Indy Super Pull from the Indiana State Fair Coliseum in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hi, everybody, I'm Dave Grimm. Challenge of Power, the name of our program, and it's all about tractor and truck pulling. This is the granddaddy of all tractor and truck pulls in the country today, and a new feature for the 1989 nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull will be for the first time ever in America, 2 European champions are competing here on this 240-foot track. It promises to be spectacular competition. We hope you enjoy it. The modified tractors bring the house down every time. The 3, 4, 5, 6 engines, and yes, even 7 Chevrolets in one chassis. They'll raise the roof here at the Indiana State Fair Coliseum. Nearly 10,000 horsepower in most of these tractors here tonight. The big V8 along with the Allison. It's a spectacular show of brute horsepower, the modified. We'll be right back with more action from the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull right after this.
TNT! If it's power.
If you want to be a player in modified tractor pulling competition, then that will definitely include the 9,200-pound class. That class is up next here at the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's one of the most popular classes because it gets up there in weight. We add a lot of engines, and the big multi-engine tractors, 4, 5, 6, and 7 engines, come to life. It's anybody's ball game. Up next, the Gertie brothers. Dan Gertie out of Albany, Indiana. They'll be running 3 Chrysler Hemis. They're popular pullers here in Indiana, and even though they won't have 4, 5, 6, or 7 engines, they're very proud of their tractor, and they are a very consistent performer at the Indy Super Pull. So let's now go to the Gertie brothers, our test pullers in the 9,200-pound class. I think you'll enjoy the action. Very popular tractor here in the Hoosier State. Empty Pockets has laid down a good pull that everybody will chase here tonight. When it comes to horsepower, here's one of the top 3 tractors in the country. Dave Walsh of the Walsh Brothers team will be pulling this 5-engine powered Aries machine. Nearly 600 cubic inches, and each engine provides 3,000 cubic inches altogether. They will burn over 20 gallons of alcohol on this run. The Walsh brothers hail from Boston, Wisconsin. 2:03, and 3 is the distance to beat. The drivers will be watching the leader flag. Remember, the top 2 will be back later on in this class for a pull-off. Dave Walsh. Well, the Walsh Brothers pulling team out of Austin, Wisconsin has taken the lead. Dave Walsh, a great run, 2:13 and 6. Do you think that'll hold up?
Well, I don't know if they're re-weight or not. It's a little bit heavy, but there's a couple tractors back there that are pretty tough, and it's kind of hard to tell right now.
Your tractor really seemed to come to life. Everything worked good for you?
Yeah, I think it's about balanced right, maybe a little heavy up front, but it came on when I wanted it to.
All right, a lot of guys run Aries, some guys run Rodex. What's your preference in power? Naturally, it's Aries, but what do you feel you get with that Aries power?
Well, it costs more for one thing, but you do get 300-400 horse more, which in 5 motors, you're talking 1,000 horse more.
Well, congratulations on a very good run. Let's hope it holds up for you later on.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
All right, Dave Walsh out of Austin, Wisconsin has laid down a very good pull here at the Indy Super Pull, and he's hoping it will be one of the top 2 later on in the pull-off. Well, as you look at this tractor, it's going to take some explaining because the Banter brothers have made some major changes to a brand new chassis that they're debuting here at the 1989 nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull. The Banter brothers have built a brand new tractor with a different engine configuration. You'll notice there are 4 engines out in front. An engine right next to driver Dave Banter, and now for the first time ever, an engine behind him right between the rear tires. The Banter brothers have had a problem over the years with a heavy nose or a heavy front end, and they want to transfer more of that horsepower to the rear end. So feeling that if they can get more of those engines toward the back, they may have a better chance to lift that front end and make a better pull in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, making history here at the Indy Super Pull. 16-time world champions David Banter and a brand new machine for 1989. Ralph Banter, a brand new tractor here at the 1989 Indy Super Pull, and from the smile on your face, I got to feel that you're pretty happy with the inaugural run.
It stayed together.
That's the most important thing?
Right. That's all we done. Hope get the feel of the tractor. It looked like it might work, you know, if we can get a few more laps down the track. Main thing, we got all those new parts in there, and they all stayed in there for us.
Our tractor began drifting to the left, and he was really hard on the brakes.
Yeah, I think he might have got in a groove in there. He didn't come out like he maybe should have, you know.
All right, Ralph Banter, one of the grand old men of the sport. And when the Banter brothers come to play, they come to play serious. We'll be right back with more action from the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull right after this. Backing up to the sled right now with the Milodon aluminum block engines, the toughest tractor on the East Coast. From Richfield Springs, New York, here's veteran Phil Patterson with the Sassy Massey team. He is running the ever-popular drag racing JP1 Racing Hemi. The Hemis, of course, have become popular in pulling, just like they have in drag racing. And, of course, very simply, a Hemi spherical engine is where the spark plug goes in the center of the cylinder. The distance to beat now, 2:15 and 6. The Walsh brothers in the lead. The Banners are in second at 2:11.0. Bill Patterson, who has done well at Indy Super Pull in the past, would like to make a winning run. And Bill Patterson out of Richfield Springs, New York, has picked them up and laid them down. What a spectacular pull, and he has thrilled the audience here at the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull. The crowd really loving it. The tractor in the front of the sled, very close to the end of the track at 234 feet. He has gone by the Walsh brothers. He has gone by the Banter brothers. And he has taken the lead and is the #1 qualifier for the pull-off yet to come. Bill Patterson out of Richfield Springs, New York, a big smile on his face. How does it feel?
Dave, it feels great. We were able to keep that tractor straight, and that's what we've been striving for a year.
I don't think I've ever heard the engine sing any better than they did here tonight.
They're ready. We came loaded. We want to win here. We're going to do whatever it takes to try to get one.
All right, you're the #1 qualifier in the pull-off right now. Good luck if it does come that way.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
All right, Bill Patterson out of Richfield Springs, New York, a big smile on his face. They're excited and they're pumped, and I'm sure they'll be in that pull-off yet to come. In the mid-1970s, the Allison aircraft machines were the tractors to beat. They were national champions 3 years in a row in the 12,000-pound unlimited classes. Now the big multi-engine V8s have overtaken the Allisons, but the Allison tractors are still a lot of fun to pull. Here's Ken Angel, the entertainer out of DeRidder, New York. Picks them up and lays them down on a very nice straight run with the entertainer. These Allison V12s are dependable engines, but they only turn about 5,000 RPM, and they'll build somewhere around 1,500 horsepower. And when you're competing against drivers that are in the 8,000 to 10,000 horsepower range, then it's tough to keep up. That was a very good run, though, by this New York puller. He's risen to the top of his profession, ladies and gentlemen, and is worth the price of admission alone here at the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull. None other than Tim Engler from southwestern Indiana and the Mission Impossible team. He has graced our television programs many times and is always popular and a very personable and outspoken man wherever he goes. This young 33-year-old will be running 7 Chevrolets here tonight. He went from the Aries powder to the 454 Chevrolet. And even with 4 engines, he likes those extra engines, but less work on each engine. And Angler has taken over the #1 qualifying position. Tim Angler has obliterated the right-hand side of the track. It is still raining dirt as these big 30.5-inch Firestones have thrown the dirt to the top of the ceiling here at the Indiana State Fair Coliseum, and it is still coming down about 30 seconds after he's made his run. Spectacular pull. 2:32.5, just short of a full pull, and that puts him in the #1 qualifying position. We're going to try to get a word in with him. And Tim Angler, if we can ask you to lean over here as you're tightly into that seat. Congratulations. Right now, you and Phil Patterson in the #1 and #2 qualifying positions for the pull-off. Excellent run. You had to be heavy on the brakes on that pull.
Yeah, I hope we have enough brake to run the next run. We just about cooked that side right now. We won't have time to change them, but we're looking forward to it. I wish Phil the best of luck. It's going to be a good pull-off.
We're going to let you get back to the pit area and get ready. He's hoarse. He's tired. He's worked so hard to make this tractor into a winner. So Phil Patterson and Tim Angler now are in the #2 and #1 qualifying position for the pull-off yet to come. We'll be right back with more action from the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull right after this.
The average cost of this luxury car is...
Productions comes to your town. Next stop, Phoenix City, Alabama, April 1st and 2nd at the East Alabama Motor Speedway. You'll see super stock tractors in the 7,000 and 9,000 pound classes. But before the smoke can clear, the 2-wheel drives pull in for supercharged wheel standing action. As they add weight to the sled, you know it's time for the incredible power of the multi-engine tractors. From 3 and 5 engine 7,000 pound class to 9,000 pound 6 and 7 engine powerhouses. As the caravan of puller power moves on, they find themselves at the State Fair Coliseum in Syracuse, New York for 3 big days, April 7th, 8th, and 9th. You'll see 4-wheel, 2-wheel drives, and 7,200 modified tractor classes. If you see a power-packed motorsports show that you like, just send $14.95 to Victory Productions. Please include your name, address, and show requested.
Epka Dyjkstra from Nakla, Holland, 43-year-old puller. He's a farm equipment dealer, and he sells Renault and Landini tractors. That is an Italian tractor. He was European champion in 1979 in the 7 modified, 1984, and 1988. And he is representing Europe as the Dutch champion and also the European champion. He won his first Dutch championship in 1978. The power plant, a V12 Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. He built the tractor in 1983. The tractor is called Rhinoceros, and he is sponsored by the leading farm publication in Holland called the Boerderij. Ladies and gentlemen, a big American welcome for Epka Dyjkstra from Nakla, Holland, the 43-year-old champion European. Breakage out on the track. We saw parts flying from underneath the chassis, and the Boerderij Rhinoceros. The fans from Wisconsin giving him a little bit extra vocal up there. And Epka Dyjkstra, you were running last night, a tough break here tonight, but it's still a thrill to pull in America at the Indy Super Pull, I'm sure.
Yes. What had happened was this evening, the motor was good running, only the clutch was not strong enough. He slipped on the clutch, and he gave a lot of RPM, and he gave him small backfire, and that was a little explosion on the front side.
Hurry!
Thank you very much. He's very appreciative of being here in America. The first time that a modified tractor has ever appeared. Epka Dyjkstra from Holland.
And measurement in for Epka Dyjkstra, 105 feet 6 inches, 105 and 6 for Epka Dyjkstra. Still holding down the number 1 spot, though, Tim Engler with 232.5, along with Phil Patterson at 231 and 7 in the number 2 position. The Walsh brothers firmly holding the number 3 position at 215 and 6.
Here's Thumper, driven by Wayne Clark out of Elizabethtown, New York. The Allison Power Tractor coming off the line. Wayne Clark really launched the tractor. Those two Allisons came to life in a beautiful pull. But he got about halfway down the track, all of a sudden backed out of it, and the engines died on him. Wayne Clark really lost the tractor. We may not be seeing too many runs on this tractor much more for 1989 because Gardner Stone out of Middlebury, Vermont has indicated that he will be going to turbine power later on this season. In fact, not 2 or 3, but possibly 4 turbine engines. Gardner has indicated that he has spent countless hours and money working on the big Allisons, and he's had lots of breakage this past season. So let's see if Gardner Stone can make a real good solid pull here at the Indy Super Pull. The twin Allisons out there at 1,700 cubic inches. The automobile dealer from Middlebury, Vermont, Gardner Stone and Mr. LTL. Gardner Stone throwing off some alcohol fire out there. You can see those Allisons came to life. He never got the wheel speed that he wanted. These twin Allisons are injected and turbocharged as well. Gardner Stone can pump out a lot of horsepower in the G-Stone Motors, Mr. LTL. We are down to 1 in the first round of competition here in the 9,200-pound modified dragster tractor class. It's been a whale of a show, and we're a long way from being over. Here come the Banter brothers with one more shot at making the pull-off field. Dave Banter, who pulled earlier in this class with his newly designed tractor, will be back with their 1988 machine called Mr. Chevy. This time, he'll have the 6 Chevrolets, the 427 engines, right out in front of him. He still needs to pick that front end up on this tough power track. He has to have a pull better than 231 and 7 if he wants to make the pull-off. David Banter. And it was not the Banter brothers' night here tonight. Neither one of the Banter brothers tractors will qualify for the pull-off in the 9,000-pound modified. David Banter, I can't remember in quite a few years that you have either not been in a pull-off or missed this kind of a field with a 9 modified.
Oh, yeah, but, you know, when you can get to the Super Pull and stay in the top 5 or 6, you know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, it takes good runs to get here, and we've earned our way to get here, so I'm satisfied.
We'll be right back with more action from the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull right after this commercial message.
This ESPN Network program is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
TNT! If it's power you're looking for, here it comes. ESPN and ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
The pull-off is always a very exciting time, and especially here at the Indy Super Pull. It'll be Tim Engler from here in Indiana with the 7,454 Chevrolets going against the JP1 Mylodon racing engine. 6 of them on the Sassy Massey out of Ware, New Hampshire. Now, Phil's an accomplished driver, having pulled a 2-wheeler for many years. He made a run early of 231 and 7, just behind Mission Impossible's 232 and 5. The top two tractors here in the 9,200-pound modified class qualifying for the pull-off. They laid down a picture-perfect run the first time around. The number one tractor on the East Coast is the Sassy Massey. These drag racing engines were formerly in some of the top fuel cars and alcohol cars, and here they go. Has made a spectacular pull with the 500 cubic inch JP1 Hemis. These Hemis have never run better, burning over 20 gallons of alcohol on this run. Well, this is the best ticket in town tonight in Indianapolis, ladies and gentlemen. And now, Mission Impossible. It'll be the 7 Chevrolets, 454 cubic inches each, of Tim Engler trying to beat the Sassy Massey. The Sassy Massey went 2:17 and 6. And the flag is down at the end of the track at 2:17 and 6. Here's the green flag now. It's all up to this Hoosier, Tim Engler. Tim Engler will come up short. To the right-hand side of the track. He's worked so long and so hard, and he thought, wow, this is my chance here tonight at the Indy Super Pull in front of the home state fans. But I tell you, that's just the way it goes sometimes. And Tim Engler still, congratulations on a fine second place here tonight. What was your strategy here in the pull-off?
Well, our strategy was to come back down this right side, and we knew we was going to have a brake problem because we had it so hot from the first run. And I told you before we were real concerned about that, but you got to gamble. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Today we lost.
Well, I'll tell you, the engines ran spectacular, but Sassy Massey made just a little bit straighter run in the pull-off, and it paid off for them.
Yeah, they sure did. They got an excellent tractor. I think it's the first time they've won here, and I'm real pleased for them.
Congratulations, Tim Engler out of Princeton, Indiana. Thumbs up from John Knox of the Brian Knox and John Knox team, the Sassy Massey. Tim Engler is happy for them here at the Indy Super Pull. Well, you know, if you try hard enough and long enough, the good Lord will be good to you in pulling. And here's a guy that has tried so long, Phil Patterson. Tim Engler was very complimentary of your entire team and your driving here tonight. He says, I was just beat by one of the best teams in the country, and I think you got to feel awfully good hearing that from him.
Well, coming from Tim Engler, he's a very good friend of mine, and God, you know, when you can beat somebody of his caliber, the caliber that's at a pull like this, when you can come out on top, you've done something.
And of course, to lead the way, the engines never sounded better. You had good runs on all of your engines. They came to life for you and held up for you in the end.
We came loaded. We told everybody last year we wanted to come back and we wanted to win one. And we were true to our word. We came back and we did it.
Congratulations on your first Indy Super Pull win here in Indianapolis.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, Phil Patterson wins the big one in Indianapolis as he takes top honors in the 9,200-pound modified class, beating Tim Engler in the pull-off. And now for everyone at Power Pack Motorsports, I hope you've enjoyed the 9,200-pound modified from the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull. I'm Dave Grimm. Until next time, so long, everybody.